Welcome to another episode of Dungeons and Dragons: Tomb of Annihilation. No comment there, Kashcah.
I did not have one prepared.
We
weren't prepared yet.
I didn't feel like being an interloper this session.
All right, so please forgive me while I adjust the volume settings, cover people's avatars a little bit more. But anyway, hi everybody, and welcome. This is 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. We're well into the campaign. If you haven't checked it out already, it's available on YouTube on the Mischief of Mice channel. We're dual streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. And if you hear a very slight echo, it's probably because Kashcah and I are in the same room. We're testing something out this time, so please forgive us if you do hear an echo. Otherwise, let's do some introductions, I think is a good idea. We'll start, as usual, with the most important party member of our group, and that is Kashcah, the Dungeon Master.
I disagree, but hello.
Well, you do represent the large portion of the players in our group on a regular basis.
NPCs, just NPCs, and they're not important at all.
Yeah, I still haven't switched Vorn out either. But anyway, we'll continue on working our way around, and we have Rorax.
Hello, I am Rorax. You can check me out on the YouTubes and on Twitch, where I stream and make gaming videos and stuff. But then I also play D&D with these fine folk, where I play Aelia, the Centaur Cleric.
Indeed, and if you want to check out her channel, we've got links in the description below on both Twitch and YouTube. And then next to her we've got Nerevar, who sadly cannot join us today. He has a previous commitment, and it is the holiday season, so it's not surprising. Moving along, we do have Kellisto.
I am Kellisto of the Bear God clan, and I am a half-elf druid. Yeah, that's all I got. It's a sleepy day.
It is a sleepy day. And moving on from her, we've got Lyssa.
I am playing Valia. I am a barbarian, Lizardfolk barbarian, and as you, I think Slippy's picture's still up there. He is my little adolescent axe-beat companion.
Yep. And then next to her, you've got myself. I am Vallen. I will be playing Ulfgar Holderheck, a dwarven bard. And that's pretty much it. When last we left off, our group had left Spacial, which is about here, which was a city populated mostly by bird folk. And they blessed us with a limited flight ability for our entire group that gave us pretty much 3 days of flight, more or less. And the first day we went to the heart of Obtau, met Valendra Shadowmantle, a suspicious but yet seemingly ally. And then we went to the wreck of the Star Goddess, found a bunch of people being stuck up a tree in their airship which had been taken down. We were able to rescue them from the jungle, more or less, and send them back to Valendra for safe transport back home, we hope. Otherwise, we just gave her a bunch of experiments to play with. And now, for the last leg of our flight journey, we are heading towards Hrakhamar. So, keep all your arms and legs inside the carpet, because the exit is coming up soon. Now,
Could chuck you in the volcano.
I hand it off to Kashcah.
I love how you just like, and we're done with the crew of the Star Goddess.
Nothing we can do
I just
now.
kept yelling at them to be careful going through the portal. They'll lose a limb.
Listen, I objected to the whole affair. You can't blame me for anything that goes wrong.
Sure thing, Pontius Pilate. We got it.
Little bowl of water.
Just wash the hands. Wash. Yes. All clean. Isn't that the same water you use to wash your face in? Shut up.
So I think where we left off was that Salazar had just stepped through the arcane gate that had been cast by Valindra. Yes, I know it is like a fairly like tweaked arcane gate. It was pretty kind of leveled up version of it. So Thassalindra, the captain of the airship, steps through. Ulfgar confirms with Valindra that everybody has been safely, kind of transferred through the portal. And yeah, you guys are alone once more in the jungle. So to kind of set the scene a little bit, it's probably late in the day, actually. Yeah, it's up to you what you want to do next.
Well, I wanted to use the talking stone one more time to check with Valindra that she has received all of the people.
Yeah, I think
they
you've
are
done
safe.
that last time, actually, because you said you asked her if they were with her, and she said, "Yes, I have them."
Okay. All right. Good. Then I think we were going to try and move on to Hrakhamar, but probably looking for a camp when it starts getting late along the way.
So you've probably got like a couple more hours of daylight left?
Yeah. I mean, we did pretty much camp here all day. I guess we could stay here for the rest of the night. I mean, we did a bunch of hunting. We've got a lot of bat food. And that's not food for bats. Thanks to the Druid's Call Lightning spell. The best use I have seen of that spell to this day. You want food? We got food.
Quick preparation.
I've been waiting to use that spell.
That was the best. Alright. So Ulfgar's like, I don't know, we could probably move on for a couple hours, but we've already got a campsite here. Might as well stay here for the night. What do you think? Do you want to move on or stay and take off tomorrow morning?
Well, we already sent the unfortunate migrants to their doom already, so we could move on quickly. So why don't we do...
You forgot the part where we saved them from their doom first.
And then sent them to a new doom.
She was nice enough to us. I don't see why she'd be any different to those folk.
You didn't get any funny vibes from her at all?
Just a bit of curiosity about what her motives were for being in the forest, besides study. But I've run into other people who have less valid motives as of recently. You haven't really talked to a lot of the people up in Port Nianzaru, and she seemed probably one of the most sane people we've talked to so far.
Nothing about the cloaked and gaunt features and the absurd fascination with study?
Nope.
Big cage,
No?
Big cage that she had.
Well, she did have, like, animal bones in there, so I would imagine that she was probably keeping some livestock at one point. She looked a little bit peaked. Probably could have used a good soup or stew here and there. But,
And we just sent her the resources for that, so... good
Oh,
on you.
come now. She's not going to go cannibalism. I realize that they're maybe not elven, but still.
I don't trust nobody who's been in a floating rock for God knows how long by themselves, and bats for company. I'm good.
Ulfgar just kind of, like, looks at you like, most of my family lived in a rock for a very long time. Thank you very much.
I rest my case. Let's move on.
Oi.
And with that, Aelia gallops into the sky.
Ulfgar gathers what items there are around the camp and does the same, minus the gallop. kind of like does one of those. Where he just kind of like starts floating sideways. And of course, Nerevar, Tobias, Dragonbait, and Artis are coming along too.
Yeah, I mean, Tobias and Arokh will follow you directly, and Artis and Dragonbait kind of wait to see if everybody else is going as well.
Oh, I don't want to be left behind, so just follow Dad.
Did you say follow Dad?
Yeah.
And Ark just looks at you, Valia, and says, "After you, Valerie."
I'm like, sure, Anthony. Let's see what kind of trouble we can get into. And I'll just kind of head off.
You hear from the sky, Valerie, that's such a sweet name.
Yeah, so he follows directly. It's just Dragonbait. He's doing this kind of thing where he's he's like flying like this, like he's got his head like on his arm. He's just like, yeah, this is quite relaxing.
Meanwhile, Ulfgar, thinking back to his first flight where he was like almost trying to flap his arms, you know. But so just fly on for a couple hours until we see if we can find a spot that we can settle down for the night once it starts getting dark, because obviously flying in the dark is a bad idea, let alone traveling, even if most of your party has dark vision, except Valerie.
I don't either.
I know. But I think you can cast a light spell, can't you?
If I had memorized that spell, yes.
So as you kind of are flying up, you kind of crest the canopy of the jungle, and you can tell that the sun will be setting soon. It's kind of low in the sky behind you, and you can see in the distance, but just is this flat kind of top of the canopy. There's the occasional kind of higher tree than the rest of it, but for the most part, it's kind of like just this sea of green below you. And then off in the distance, you can see ahead of you mountain peaks. They're these kind of jagged, dark peaks of the mountains. It looks like there isn't any snow on them, but they look very kind of dark and ominous, and you can see kind of this small area of smoke that's rising from one of the peaks. And then to your left, if you look kind of like over your left shoulder, you can also see other peaks as well, and these look much more active. They're further away from you for sure, but there's a lot more smoke coming up from them. So you're able to make a little bit more progress. Now let's move some of these hexes out the way. Boop, boop, boop. And you can probably get... Oh, it's getting crowded in that bit, isn't it? Hang on, I've got to move the name so I can get rid of this one. Boop. So you can probably get another couple of hexes before it really does start to get dark. So it starts to get dark, the sun is starting to set. You can see it's absolutely beautiful actually. The stars, it's a clear night, stars up above you are phenomenal. You can just see like millions of points of light and begin to twinkle as the colour kind of fades from the sky and it becomes dark.
As we come in to the canopy to try and find somewhere to camp, I'd like to use that thing that I've forgotten the name of, where it lets me see undead.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In case we're coming in to land on any undesirables.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you? Thing. Eyes of the Grave.
Oh. So,
Jeez.
so you can cast that, and yeah, you don't see any directly below you at the moment within the 60-foot kind of. Like if I imagine it as a cone coming, like you're the top point of the cone, it's 60 feet, kind of in a circle below you. You don't get any pings in that 60
Even
feet.
after I've kind of descended below the canopy?
Correct.
Okay. I shout out to the rest of the crew. Well, I low shout. Seems all clear down.
It's clear! You hear the echo of the canyon walls. Clear, clear, clear.
Those as well.
Alright, Ulfgar comes down and starts his ritual.
Okay.
Yeah, well, me and Flippio come down, kind of look around.
I'll come down, but I'm not going to go hunting because I think we have enough food.
Well, we did send a good portion of it with those people that went through the portal.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, because we weren't sure that she'd be able to support them.
Well, maybe. I think we have enough for now. I'll hunt.
Don't want to call lightning?
I do, but I don't need to kill everything.
Okay. Alright, fair enough. Not yet, at least. You haven't gotten to that breaking point.
Yeah, Kellisto's our secret bit.
Mm-hmm.
Only if you're outside.
Okay, so you can kind of set up camp and do all your usual stuff. Are you taking watches, or?
Yeah, I'll take the first watch.
And as usual, Arokh is probably taking a watch because he's outside the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
Does he even need to sleep? He could just watch us forever.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really sure.
To measure it, I think he's a like a construct with special rule.
Yeah, for all purposes, he's a living, but he resembles a construct. He acts similar to like a magical summon of a creature that looks like a construct.
I'll take the second watch.
So while we're metaing, I have a question. Do you prefer, when we're doing kind of random encounters, do you prefer the background that has vegetation, or do you prefer like a blank canvas, so to speak?
I like how you're asking us this now.
I like it every other.
Yeah, I'm with that one.
Because if it's the same C shape, tropical, whatever, every time, then no. But if it's a blank one, then we might be able to draw some of the terrain on there as we see it.
Okay. Alright, fair enough. So, whoever it is, I mean, just to kind of, I don't want to make you guys go through motions that are redundant, right? That's no fun for anybody. But whoever is taking the last watch.
That'd be me.
Okay, so your watch is interrupted. 1 second, let me take everybody over to the page, and then we can start drawing. Let's everybody up. Okay, everybody. Everybody. Just getting your tokens. Okay. So let me drag you guys over here. Okay, I'm getting a blank canvas this time. So do you want to set up kind of your dome, Ulfgar? And
Yeah, let me look to see how big it is. Hold on, I've got it right here. 10-foot radius. Alright, so... Shift to snap to grid, circle ellipse is Alt. Okay. Alt, 10-foot radius. So... that would be... like... so-ish? Hold on, there we go. That's kind of it. Oh, there we go. Right there.
oh, okay, I'm like, I don't see it.
Sorry, I'm like
Sorry.
adjusting it and stuff, so...
Okay.
Obviously, people would have to be inside of it, but... or thereabouts.
Yeah, how can you be on the last watch?
I can
Because don't
still...
you have to stay in there?
It's transparent for us inside.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna draw some tree locations around.
And we could probably tell from the inside what it looks like, or like where the edge of the dome is, because it's dimly lit inside. So if you look outside and inside, you can see like outside it's dark up to this invisible line.
Okay, so all this junk that I just drew, hang on, let me draw this one. That was like a little kidney or something. What the hell was that?
You didn't check for kidneys. What the heck?
Roll for kidney check.
Okay, so you are kind of surrounded by trees of varying sizes. So they're kind of canopies. Okay, can I draw some canopies?
I always like canapes.
Coming off of the trees.
I like cans of peas.
So they've got kind of these large reaching canopies right around the trees. Wow, my mouse is like a maniac, basically.
It could be worse. It could, you could look like my Gary drawing from
What the hell? Okay, I think I have a hair stuck in my mouse.
our Gary drawing in poo water from the other camp.
Hey, that Gary drawing was great. I like that Gary drawing.
What is this one that's... yeah, that.
Happy now?
A bat.
Rather.
Clinging onto the side of the tree.
Let's redo these. I was getting quite ambitious. So this is kind of general foliage around you. You managed to kind of find a clearing where your hut will fit, and yeah, you've got some trees kind of surrounding you.
There you go. That one's a bit of a spindly tree.
Listen, they can't all be big beefy trees.
Well, I made it that way.
Okay, so then Arokh is gonna kind of stand guard up there, and these three are coming in the hut as well. Oh,
Get off me, artist.
Okay. Okay, we've got everybody now. Yeah. Okay. Alright, cool. So this is kind of your setup for the night, and Ulfgar, during your watch, you have to stay in your hut, don't you? So everybody gets their hit points back, by the way, because you are able to get a long rest in before this happens.
Okay.
So let me adjust Arokh back to his maximum. And Artist as well, back to its maximum. And then, why don't you make a perception check, Ulfgar?
Okie dokie then. I will stop messing around with this. Perception. Oh, that's loud. Oh. I got crushed by my own die. And
Okay.
there we go.
So you're actually kind of getting familiar with this now, and you smell it before you see it.
The decay.
The decay and death, and this is kind of a familiar scent to you at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where you are. You hear as well, like a lot of movement happening. So I don't know how you would like to react to that.
First thing I do is call out to Arokh, and I would grab probably one of the legs or whatever's within range of me of Aelia to let her know, wake her up first. But I would call out to Arokh to let him know that there's undead nearby.
Yeah, you see Arokh stands up, and he's taking great big, like, gulping sniffs of the air. He's just inhaling it, and he looks back at you and gives you like a nod of acknowledgement and agreeance that that yes, this is he agrees with
Aelia
you.
stirs. She understands immediately what's happening as her nostrils are filled with the stench of decay. She quickly starts setting about preparing herself.
And of course, he would, say it loud enough that everybody should hear him within range, but not so he's like doing an absolute shout.
The movement that you see is coming from this direction, and
I missed that.
Oh, sorry. Oh no, you know what? It helps if I'm on the right layer. This direction.
Okay.
There's great movement. You hear like cracking of tree limbs and splintering wood and just trees being crushed.
I think it's time we go. I think something much bigger than what we're used to is headed our way. We should head out.
And as you're talking, you can begin also to feel the ground vibrate a little.
Yeah, that feels bigger than four-armed undead monkeys,
If that's it, that could be an undead Tyrannosaurus. We should go.
Yeah, we should
I
probably
cannot suffer this to live.
We should at least get out, try to get back far enough to see what it is first, without it seeing us.
I think strategy and tactics are the best part of valor in this case.
I agree, but I do not think we should flee. And Aelia leaves the bubble vertically.
Okay. How high are you going?
I want to go maybe 40 feet.
Okay. So you can see between, as you get higher, the vegetation becomes less and less, and you can see movement now. You're not just hearing and feeling the vibration of it. You can see movement of the trees, even in the dark. And yeah, it seems to be heading your direction.
Did you say a shape?
I said you can see the trees like moving.
Aelia just shouts back down, up, now.
I take off. The bubble pops.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
I guess we're all going there. Come on, Flippy. Unless you want to be whatever out here. You want to be food for.
Actually, I wouldn't take off. I would wait until everybody else was off the ground and out of the bubble. Then I would go.
Bleary-eyed archers, like, what are we doing?
I'd help him.
Just kind of takes off. Yeah.
Like, grab him by the shirt. Oh. We go or we die. Come.
Yep. So he takes off, and Tobias and Arokh will fly up higher as well. So your bubble's gone, right?
Bubbles down. Oh, you popped it.
So as you kind of rise, you see before you, sure enough, coming your way is this massive dinosaur. And yeah, I'm to meta it a little bit. It's definitely a T-Rex, right? It's just got a giant head, and it doesn't look right. Even the smell, like, you know from the smell that it's undead, but you can see visually that it's undead as well. Great stretches of skin and flesh are missing, and bone is exposed, and flesh is kind of in places is hanging, kind of sloughing off it, and it's the color is all gone from, well, actually you might have considered quite beautiful, like the skin of a T-Rex, but the color is all pallid and decay now, so it's not pleasant to look at all. So it is going to make a perception check.
While it's doing that, I tell Aelia, I'm like, yeah, this is what nightmares are made of, and yeah, it definitely shouldn't be allowed to stay alive like it is. We definitely need to get rid of it. As much as I don't want to do it, we really need to.
So,
Aelia kind of taken aback by this because she feels that Valia is more opportunistic normally. She kind of looks over at Valia and gives her this really stern, excuse my language, fuck yeah nod.
I'm just disgusted at this thing. I'm like, ugh, it shouldn't even be allowed to undead live like this. I don't even know words anymore. It's just so cloudy eyeballs and everything. Ugh.
Well, I have to say, I don't think that the few arrows I have left in my quiver will be quite enough to take this thing down.
I really don't want to bite that thing.
I don't intend on getting within range of its teeth. I've seen what those things can do. They would just...
Like you say, Ulfgar, we start with tactics, so what do you think?
I wanted to... Can I cast spells right now, or do I have to wait till we're in combat?
No, if you've got some buffs or something that you would like to do,
No,
whatever you would like to do.
I wanted to do some spike growth, kind of in front of the path in which it's traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
So it'll just slow it down a bit.
Mm-hmm. It really is centered on a point within the twisted.
I mean, I can't imagine it has a lot of wisdom.
Okay. Let's give him... He gets a perception check. Give him a perception check. No, he has a really crap wisdom, actually.
Here, now you guys, I bought you some time and you guys can figure out how to kill the thing.
What's your DC? I'm assuming it's higher than 11.
What am I looking at?
On your spells page, top...
15?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, he doesn't see the spikes, and actually I would give him disadvantage. So, because it is dark and he's not exactly like Mr. Perceptive. So he doesn't see the spikes and kind of just steps into them. So do you want to roll... you want to roll the damage for that?
Oh, nice.
Oh, hey, nice.
That's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of steps into them. You don't see any particular reaction from him. He just kind of keeps trucking.
Ulfgar says, "The best I can do is this," and he pulls out a bow his short bow. Takes a couple shots. Pew pew.
Don't you have a new horn, Ulfgar?
Hold on. No, I don't. Someone else has that horn. But other people have multiple wands.
Oh yeah.
So I think I'll give you. Well, let's start in turn order because I want to kind of track because something is going to happen and I want to. I have like all these people to roll.
What? Oh, you mean all the NPCs? And yeah. just have Arokh go at the same time as Tobias.
Yeah. Managed to close Artists. Jeez.
Right, Rorax. You need to get
Yeah,
a T-Rex on here somewhere. Oh no, there is one. Never mind. I see it now. I thought you were gonna draw one for a second. But I totally missed it. It was on the map. I need to zoom out a little bit.
Okay, so let's see. So I've got Dragonbait. So then I'm just missing Arokh and Tobias.
I love the art for this token with the disjointed jaw.
Yeah. Where is it? Initiative. Okay, so that's going to be both of them, just so you know.
Okay.
Anybody? Are we missing anybody? We've got everybody? I think we've got everybody.
Yep, you even have Flippy.
Okay, so Artis is going to hold any actions. I'm waiting to see what everybody else does. So Valia, this is, kind of well, actually for everybody, this is like your chance to kind of do any prep that you want to before he notices you.
Is there a token for this guy?
He's in the bottom right of the map.
Bottom right, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was scrolled elsewhere.
I guess I'm gonna kind of like go here and wait. If he gets too close, then I'll hold my action and just keep an eye on him, see what he does.
Okay. Are you hiding or anything, or are you staying in plain sight, or?
Yeah, I'm kind of like in the trees here, maybe a high branch or something. I'll just kind of hang out.
What is that?
Those are spikes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Kellisto, so you've cast your spikes. Anything else you want to do to prep?
I want to move.
To be just the right height so it can bite you easily?
Oh wait, no, I don't have to move. I'm within range. I want it. Do I have to? Can I do an?
Can you do a what? Sorry.
Like, am I okay to do an action? Like we're in combat, right? Okay.
He doesn't appear to have noticed you yet, but I wanted to run it in turn order so we could. Okay.
It was only a matter of time.
You might notice this.
Sudden thunderstorm shows up.
Okay, so he gets a dex saving throw against this. Okay, so he has a terrible dexterity as well. Okay.
Oh, and I also moved to like I'm gonna move to a tree limb, so I'm not like wasting my.
Okay.
I don't want to, waste the.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you kind of land in a tree limb and you're holding on.
Yep.
And casting. Okay. All right. So yeah, he failed his dex save. You want to roll the damage?
It's just a d6, right? That's it. Just 1d6, right?
Is it a 1d6? I'm looking for
No,
it.
I'm teasing.
3d10.
Oh.
3D.
Oh.
Okay, so he gets thoroughly zapped, and now he definitely notices you.
Sure, it
So-
wasn't the lightning he noticed.
So, do you want to describe your lightning? Do we see like a storm cloud, or?
Yeah, it's a storm cloud, in the shape of a cylinder. So he doesn't necessarily is going to see us. He's going to see the storm cloud come down and do lightning against him.
I don't know.
That's fine.
I'm picturing you like Saruman, like going, "Hey, oh," you know, shouting at the storms and stuff.
I'm kind of hiding in the trees
Yeah.
when I cast it.
It's much more appropriate.
Sense about the point you can see. Yeah, that's true. He does not necessarily see who cast it. Okay. All right. Anything else you want to do?
No.
Okay. So I'm gonna give him a perception check. Especially since he just got hit by lightning. That.
He walked on a spike trap and then got struck by lightning at the same moment.
It's all natural things that could occur in nature.
Spike lightning, yeah, every time.
That would.
So he gets really angry. Like, obviously, right? He's just taken a big hit with some lightning, and it just really surprises him. So he kind of gets really angry, and he's like, he's kind of biting at the air, and then he does move. He is going to kind of move fairly randomly because he hasn't seen you. Let's do a quick roll here.
I look at Valia and say, I made him happy for you.
Okay, so he moves this direction, and he just goes kind of like here-ish.
So does the spike thing slow him down?
Every 5 feet he moves through it.
He gets more damage, right?
Correct.
So roll another set of spike damage for him.
A 20-foot radius.
Yeah, and he gets that 5. So actually, it would be. He's gonna get like 3 more sets of spike damage, right? As he's moving out of it.
Sorry, I gotta look and see what it was. 2d.
Yep, 2d4. So actually, you need to roll that like 3 times.
Jeez. You're getting your spell's worth out of that one.
17. Okay. Okay. So that's what he does. Ulfgar, what do you do?
I want to make sure that I'm well above what I think he could jump and chomp at. Flying up in the air, not hiding behind trees. Just making sure I'm out of his reach, and I have a clear shot at, well, its reach, and then I have a clear shot at it, and then I shoot twice.
Okay.
With the short bow. Da, da, da. There we go.
That hits.
4 points of damage. Second shot. I don't know why it showed the dice rolling twice. And damage 6.
Okay.
10 points of piercing damage. Pew pew.
Okie doke. Aelia, how about you?
Aelia's gonna fly over to Valia, and she's gonna reach out and touch Valia on the shoulder. And Valia is gonna feel her scales kind of harden. Valia, you now have a D4 to any saving roll. I have cast resistance on you. And then I'm gonna go back up to 40 feet.
Okay. Okay, so is Flippy doing anything? While I'm looking at Tobias?
No, I'm just telling him to stay back.
This little drumstick flying in the air in front of a T-Rex. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at Tobias' spell. Okay, so we can't do that. That's not close enough yet. He might. So as he's seen people start firing at this guy, he is gonna. Just do that, please. He is gonna cast at him.
Don't tell Nerevar that you just rolled guiding bolt and it hit something.
Okay.
Nice.
Where did he go? There he is.
So the next attack on him gets advantage, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Dragonbait is holding his action. He's moving up to kind of like here under this tree, and he's gonna hold his action. And Artis moves up with him. They're kind of like hiding in the undergrowth. See what happens. Alright, Valia, over to you.
Okay, I guess I'm moving over close by these guys and hanging out in the tree until he gets closer, and then if he gets within my range, I'll attack.
Super sneak attack.
Okay. Kellisto?
So do you get to keep lightning going?
I don't think so. I think it's just one action and one like
Says
spike.
duration up to 10 minutes, so that implies that it's constant. You can concentrate, keep concentrating, and
Yeah, but can it move?
On the target's same point or a different one, as long as it's within range.
Oh, okay. Then I will do that again. You know, I'll roll for it again, and I'll just have him follow it. Is that what I should do?
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you.
I say zap. Was the weather clear when we started this?
Yes.
Boo.
So he's gonna get... He's not particularly nimble. Alright, so Mr. T-Rex gets zapped again, and he just lets out this big bellowing roar, just rah! And you see as well that, well, actually, are you anything else you want to do, Kellisto?
No.
Okay.
I think having the lightning follow him is perfect.
Okay. So he, on his action, he starts to look a bit weird. Like, he kind of like hunches down towards the ground, and I think anybody who owns an animal will have seen this action, because he makes this like motion, right, like he's throwing up, and
Oh, not this again.
Has he got a hair?
So my lightning just makes him vomit?
I don't know.
Last time something throw up like zombies or something.
Oh.
and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah. Oh, not again.
And just like out of his mouth flops this zombie. And we need to add Mr. Zombie to the turn order.
So,
I've heard that the tachycardia brought on by electrocution does cause one to feel nauseous.
I mean, I don't blame him.
I thought that it was just the gag reflex from this guy, like grabbing onto that little dongle in the back of your throat on his way out.
Okay, so here comes the zombie.
Nice. He has a poor dexterity, I'm pretty sure of this one.
I didn't think you could have a negative number for initiative.
What did he manage to actually roll? He rolled a 1. Okay, that's good.
He's got a -2 to dex.
Okay, I think that's all that the T-Rex does. He just lets out this maddened, like, roar. And you know what? He is going to make another perception check though, because he did get 2 arrows and a guiding bolt thrown at him, which are probably going to give you away.
Well, they're at least going to lure him into the trap that is in the tree in between us.
Yep, he rolled a 19 that time, so he is well aware. So he
There's a
kind
dwarf.
of swings this great head around, and you
Going
can
like
see like
this.
one side of his face is just kind of missing, and the eye is gone, and it's just a fleshy kind of mess. There's no skin or scales there at all. So he swings this great head around and sees Ulfgar, sees you flying up quite high and clear of the canopy. And so he just like lets out this roar at you, and is clearly and has thrown up a zombie. Okay, Ulfgar.
Charming.
With that, Ulfgar says, "Aye, beautiful, how you doing? Bring that face to my arrows, and I'll take another couple shots." Pew!
Nice.
And another shot. Pew! Oh. Bounces off some of the skull sticking out.
Okay. Anything else you would like to do?
Yes. How far away are people? I guess I'm going to move a little bit. And I will kind of grab my trusty horn around my neck, blow it, and give inspiration. Cool. Let's give it to Valia.
Okay. Cool.
And once again, there you go. That's it.
Aelia. You hear this deafening roar, and the Ulfgar let a few more arrows fly.
Followed by a little doot.
So Aelia's gonna fly out this direction as the T-Rex faces toward our camp area. And then she is going to let loose a guiding bolt over her own.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, I totally forgot Guiding Bolt.
Wait
That's
a
only
minute.
on the next attack, isn't it? So, my
Nope,
first attack...
Didn't take that one.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have Guiding Bolt this morning?
No. I do have Sacred Flame though.
Sacred Flame.
Okay. So he's gonna attempt to dodge your Sacred Flame, and he is going to fail. So he takes 11. Oh no, he takes 22 radiant damage, doesn't he?
Yes.
Okay. So you can see this T-Rex is definitely kind of bloodied. If he had, actual blood, but he's definitely looking damaged. And your Sacred Flame, does it look like holy fire kind of projecting
So
towards
how
you?
I
or-
imagine it, kind of, how it appears, is if you ever watch like a candle a piece of wax that's on fire, and it falls at the same time as the wax drops. So it's like this droplet of fire kind of falls from the air, and that's the moment they have to get out of the way as it falls.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was too busy staring at Ulfgar, so did not see that coming at all.
Dude.
Okay. I forgot Arokh last time as well. So I think Tobias climbs on Arokh's back, and they are both going to kind of try and flank a little bit by flying like over this direction. So let's see what else Tobias has to do. So that was 1. First level, he's got 4. Okay, so he's going to, I think he's going to just do that again, actually. Yep.
Woof. Poor Tobias.
I'm telling.
So he takes another chunk of radiant damage. He's just getting hit from all sides at this, well, not all sides, but hit from numerous directions at this point, and it's just maddening towards, driving him a bit crazy. So he is not a happy camper at all.
Oh, I didn't even think radiant damage, and it's undead this time. I was thinking regular T-Rex. Okay.
Mm-hmm. How about Flippy? Is Flippy doing anything?
No, he's just gonna hang out back there.
Okay.
I think it's super Flippy now, by the way.
Super Flippy. So Dragonbait still holding his action, waiting for something to come within melee range. The zombie, though, starts lumbering towards... Yeah, he has dark vision. Okay. So he's going to start kind of lumbering towards you. So he moves up here. Actually, he's probably going to keep going, because he's not too smart. So, go here. So he's just kind of doing the zombie shuffle, just kind of dragging as he shambles along towards Valia and Artus. And Artus is going to take a swing at this guy, who now has conveniently presented himself. So he stabs at him with his dagger, and does 7 piercing damage to him. Ooh. What? Okay. So he takes a stab with the dagger. Valia, how about you?
I guess I will attack the zombie guy. I'll attack him with my javelin, so I don't have to get down there close to him.
Okay. So you're chucking a javelin at him.
The first one's not going to hit him.
And Artus says,
And
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Second. The 12 hit him.
The 12 does hit, yeah.
Don't
Okay.
forget you do have inspiration.
And I'm going to use inspiration on that. 28.
14. Okay, so this, so the first javelin goes kind of wild as you, shoot it down towards the zombie, and Artus has to, jump back as he hears it whistling towards him, and he almost stabs him, and he's like, whoa.
Sorry,
yeah,
he's slippery.
oh. And then the second one, Artus is, watches as the javelin just goes straight down through the zombie and actually kind of like pins the zombie to the ground. Its whole, like the whole shaft of the arrow is, or the javelin is embedded within the zombie's body, and the zombie's just like, and you actually kind of feel like if the javelin wasn't there, the zombie might just fall over. It's very, very close to being dead.
Then I'm going to use my movement. I'm going to use my movement, and I'm going to go over here. Right. And I guess that's where I'll wait.
Okay.
Yeah, show that Rex what's for.
I mean, I could use my unarmed attack, but I don't know if I want to get. I might as well. I have to get that close anyway, so I might as well just. I'm just gonna do it,
Hit him with your tail.
and I don't do it. Oh, now he knows I'm there. Excuse me, sir. Could you please just not attack us?
Could you stop vomiting zombies? That would be great. I need to Kellisto.
Well, I immediately stopped the spell because I didn't want Valia to get hurt.
Yeah, I forgot about
That's
that.
okay.
Well, it just zaps a creature. It doesn't like shoot an area.
No, it's within 5 feet of him.
Oh, she's
I
good.
can take it.
She's got resistance.
If I have to do a save, I still have. What is Aelia? Is it a D4?
Yeah, an extra D4.
Yeah, I can do it. I can take it.
Actually, it's each creature within 5 feet of that point, right? And so he's so big, maybe it won't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could choose the backside of him.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Zap him in the tail. Tail.
It's super effective.
Right, he gets, what is it, a dex save, right, for the cold lightning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, he's going to try that.
No.
Oh, okay. Alright, so he takes a chunk more lightning damage. So you see his body kind of like just contort as he's hit with lightning. He's definitely weakening.
And I'm going to move
Yeah, he lost his lunch.
to this tree.
Okay. Alright, you see that there's a zombie. Artis is just kind of like standing looking quizzically. Like he's almost got his hand on his chin, just looking quizzically at this zombie that was just completely skewered by one of Valia's javelins. It's just like this vertical kebab, basically.
It's kebab zombie.
Okay. T-Rex zombie is going to do a couple of things here. First of all, he makes that horrible, horrible horking motion again.
Vomits a zombie on Valia in the air.
Produces another zombie.
Wait a minute, this isn't a T-Rex. This is a zombie spawner.
Yeah.
So he goes, "Ugh." And it's really kind of. And Valia, you're seeing this up close and personal now, and the T-Rex just opens his mouth, and head first comes this zombie, kind of half climbing, half being vomited out of the T-Rex's mouth.
That's really gross.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So that's one thing that he does. But for his action, he is going to attempt to wail on you, I'm afraid. As soon as I can get the thing to expand. No, do I need to reopen it? That's fine. I can do that. Ugh. Sorry. Suddenly it decided it did not want to scroll. Okay, there we go. Scroll bar. That's good. So he gets, so he is going to take a bite at you, Valia.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna hit.
Okay. So are you still medium?
Yes.
Okay. So, so then, you need to make an opposed check against his attack to see if you are grappled.
The strength check.
Yeah, it'll be strength check to begin with, and then you, on your turn, you can try and escape the grapple. You're muted.
Is it a... Oh, Discord's gone.
You seem to still be there, but...
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
1 second. I'm going to have to leave the call for a moment and relog. So hold on 1 sec. Oh, or I could just do that.
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again?
I'm trying. It's not letting me. Yeah, because Discord just restarted. So I'm just going to do that. There we go. So where did we leave off? Sorry, I wasn't expecting Discord to just like suddenly go puking me out. What was... Oh, right. I was asking if it was a save.
No, I think it's a check, right?
Oh, a check.
Which, yeah, that she did do a check. I just wasn't sure because of the save. She would have gotten that resistance bonus.
Yeah. Just a straight strike. It's 17, which is his.
His DC. Yep. So, you're not grappled, but you do take damage from the bite, which for some reason it doesn't. So you take 26 damage as these massive teeth just kind of pierce into your body and rake across you as you're trying to fight off. Like, it's quite clear that he wants to regenerate, he wants to recharge the zombie population, you know? So it's very clear that his intent is to swallow you.
That'd be bad.
So that's what he does with his first attack, but he does get 2 attacks. But actually he can't make the other one because, yeah, okay, so he bites you. Ulfgar.
Pew pew! At the Tyrannosaur I shoot twice again.
Okay.
Let's try that. Oops, let's try that again. This time without worrying about... Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, I rolled absolute crap.
So I think what you probably see, right, is previously his head had been kind of just up above the canopy and he'd been roaring and glaring at you, right? And then something distracted him from below, so his head just kind of ducks down into the canopy and makes it a much tougher shot for you.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else you would like to do?
No, I'm still trying to get his attention to draw the people towards the zombie that is currently being attacked. But just stay where I'm at.
Alright, Aelia.
Aelia gallops through the sky closer and shouts out to Valia. Take out Valia, you're not done yet. And she blesses Valia, which adds yet another d4 to the saving roll. And also, is anyone else in my range? Probably. No. Okay. No, also.
Okay. Then Tobias is going to... He's got some more guiding bolts left in him, so he's going to do a bit more of that. Oop, and he misses. I think that he's also going to kind of get off Arokh's back, and Arokh is going to...
Hey.
What?
Would 12 have hit the Tyrannosaur? because Guiding Bolt was in effect from the previous round.
Alright. That is true.
Go on then. Do your damage.
There you go. Big 7.
Okay. So Arokh is going to fly a bit closer, but he's not going to try and stay out of range for now. Let me put that 7 on the T-Rex. Okay. Alright, Flippy.
As Flippy is gonna fly in and try to bite the zombie down.
Okay. Do it, Flippy.
Beak him. Beak
Oh.
him. Beak him.
He's just trying to peck at him. From above, he's just like pecking at his head. Scared zombie.
Mm-hmm. Alright,
It's probably imitating your disgusted face when you are like trying to bite an undead and you really don't want to.
Yeah.
Dragonbait is pretty sure that you guys have this zombie handled, so he's going to see if he can run up to this guy. Which, let's check Dragonbait's movement. He can't quite get there, but he's basically going to move to intercept this other zombie. So, maybe he can go there. Okay. He's going to swipe at him. Sure. Ooh. Is that actually? Oh, yes, it is. Okay. Okay, so he does a bunch of damage to that zombie. You see, Kellisto, you see Dragonbait run past you, unsheathing this mighty two-handed sword as he's going. He is kind of using his other hand to kind of like push aside the undergrowth as he's running through it, so he doesn't get to use both hands this time. But then you see this glowing blade arc through the air towards the zombie that's over there. The zombies are going to retort. So this one is going to attack Artus. Kind of tries to slam against Artus. Actually, I'm going to give him disadvantage because he's skewered at the moment, so he misses Artus. Artus just kind of like leans back as the zombie like pouring at him, you know. And then the other one is going to try and do a slam against Dragonbait and does succeed, so Dragonbait takes a little bit of damage from that. Okay. And then Artus is just going to go and stab the zombie. Yeah, so he finishes the zombie. The zombie only had 1 hit point left. So the zombie is dead. Okay, Valia.
At this point, I'm going to bonus rate, and I'm just going to start ripping into this zombie. I mean, to this T-Rex here.
Okay.
That's good.
That's the first one. Ooh, does 16 hit him?
16 does hit him, yeah.
And that's the second one.
Okay.
So that first one, you get an extra d6 in there. Because all dice are doubled. You did a natural 20.
Okay, yep. So some more javelin damage. Are you biting or javelin in?
I was biting him.
Okay, and 3 more damage. Good. Alright. He tastes foul, as you might
yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, you just hear me go, oh, I don't want to do this, but I'm so angry. I just dig my claws into him and just start ripping with my teeth.
Okay. Callisto.
I'm going to move towards the T-Rex,
Okie doke.
but not too close. And then I'm going to use my whip.
Whoopsh.
Okay. he takes the 6 points of damage. He is too big to drag towards you, which you might actually be happy to know.
Yeah, I kind of assumed that. I would have been shocking if I was wrong.
Where there's a whip, there's a way.
Okay, so you might be able to guess what he does.
Runs
Because,
away.
He sees that he needs more allies. So out of his mouth comes crawling yet another zombie. Actually, let me see where he's gonna land. So what? He lands over here. Okay. And then he's gonna try and bite you.
Biting?
Biting. He's biting you, Valia.
Me? Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, he's gonna hit with that for sure.
So he does. So yep, you're able to again kind of fend off his attempt to get you in his mouth. And he's gonna do his damage instead. So he does 29 damage. These teeth are almost as these teeth are almost as big as you are. Especially, well, they're probably as big as Kellisto is.
That hurts really bad.
You're lucky his jaw is falling off.
And I think actually he can get a tail attack in. He's gonna take a step
Batter up.
in this direction. He just kind of shoves the zombie out of the way. And he's gonna take a tail swipe at Dragonbait.
Whoopsh.
That's fine.
Oof.
You see Dragonbait just take this tail, like it almost knocks him over. He's buffeted so badly and just crush it into him. Ulfgar, the fight is on.
No kidding. Jeez. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Ulfgar's gonna take 2 more shots at that T-Rex and just keep at it at this point. It doesn't have that many arrows left.
That hits.
I saw that one coming. Let's do another shot. 13.
Also hits.
And hey, there you go.
Okay. He's beginning to look slightly porcupined. But the arrows, they are tiny in comparison to his body. So
Right.
he's getting this slightly bristly effect.
So Ulfgar is actually going to move to there. Still staying a bit high, but he's going to I think it's a bonus action. Hold on. I gotta double check my spell book. Clear that. Healing word. Oh, that's within 60 feet as well, so that's good. Yeah, 1 bonus action. He's gonna healing word on Valia. Seeing it like chomping on something and realizing that it's likely her. And he's gonna cast it at 3rd level. So let's go back here. Healing
Has
word.
anybody produced a light source, by the way?
No.
So who doesn't have dark vision?
Valia.
Me.
Okay.
I'm sure the lightning helped some.
Cast this at Yeah, a little bit of a singed area. Alright, so you get 14 points of healing, Valia. And that is my turn.
Okay. Aelia.
Aelia's going to fly down and across. So I think for a total, she'll be kind of at head level with the Tyrannosaurus. And she yells in Sylvan to ancestors long dead, and from behind her, in kind of fade in and gallop toward the Tyrannosaurus. 3 spectral Centaur, and they charge immediately into the Tyrannosaurus and the others in 15 feet of her.
Okay, so the zombie's gonna get it too.
And so that will
Wisdom
do
saving
3d8 radiant.
So did they? It's not really clear actually. Hang on. An affected creature's speed is halved, and when the creature enters the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn. Okay, so he doesn't get a wisdom saving throw then until their turn.
Right.
Okay, doke. Right.
And they'll take 3d8 now because they're entering it.
Okay.
So that was meant for the T-Rex.
Necrotic damage.
And that one is the zombie.
Okay, cool. Right. Yes, they both. Zombie just gets. It's like he gets trampled underfoot of these Centaur. Just the amount of damage that he takes versus how much life he actually has in him. He looks thoroughly battered by this. You see just Valia, the zombie next to you. Those parts of him just turn this blackened color and appear to become just useless. And the same thing happens on the T-Rex. The centaurs kind of, gallop through his body, and you see his body kind of contort as they're galloping through him. And where they kind of enter his body and leave his body, there's these blackened areas that just seem even more dead than before.
Would those be considered melee attack?
It's a magical damage, so I don't.
Yeah. Says, it doesn't say anything other than it's magical and it's radiant.
Yeah, okay.
Or radiant or necrotic, depending on the cleric that I am, but I'm a nice cleric, so.
You'd like to think that now, wouldn't you?
I would, shush. How do you question my gods?
Those centaurs will run you over, sir. Without question. Okay, so that was one action. Anything you would like to do with a bonus action?
I don't think I can cantrip, so I... I'm gonna charge myself.
Okay. You following like right behind your spiritual guardian? So.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go straight for the Tyrannosaur. If I can find the thing that I'm looking for.
The jugular. Go for the jugular.
I don't think
That's
it's
the
gonna
one.
bleed out.
You get
Okay.
advantage on melee attacks because he's within 5 feet of me and the zombie down here too as well.
Oh, sweet.
Nice.
Raging.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That definitely hits.
Whoops.
So that's okay. So you roll the damage die twice, put them together.
What?
6.
Okay, cool.
I'm using a Centaur ability, right?
And what's your melee? Oh, your spear. Okay, yep. So you kind of just plunge the spear into him.
If you can move my awesome aura for
Mm-hmm.
me, whoever drew that.
Trying to get a hold of it. Hold on. There we go.
Slippery little
Thank you.
things for us.
Actually, it looks a little bit off.
So Arokh is first going to move in and try and do some damage himself. This guy's getting surrounded.
It's just like, Arokh could do a nice line attack right across.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody meleeing the dinosaurs getting advantage.
Okay. Let's see. How does this breath weapon work? What you can do?
I think it's only like a D6 of a specific energy type.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's gonna try his tail slap first. Seems like the thing that Arokh would do, and he definitely hits. So he's going to
Smack.
do 6. Was that 7? Yeah. Okay. So he does. Arokh does a big tail slap on the T-Rex. The T-Rex seems to definitely be like his life is being slowly taken away from him. He's hurting pretty badly at this point.
I think that's on life.
On life. Okay. And Tobias is going to hit him. I think this is his last guiding bolt that he can hit him with. Oh.
Jeez. 3 for 3. Nerevar's never going to forgive you.
4. Okay, so the T-Rex is just getting pummeled from all sides at this point. Flippy.
He's gonna try to fight. Oh, he's gonna move up next to Dragon Bait. I always call him Dragon Bait. And he's gonna try to attack that zombie that's in front of him. He's kind of hiding behind him and just kind of like sneaking around and pecking him.
Mm-hmm. That hits.
Nice.
Take that. He just squawks at it, telling him, take that. Then he hides back behind him.
Flippy finishes him. Between the big slash he'd taken from Dragonbait, this massive swipe with Flippy's beak, the zombie crumples to the floor.
Nice.
He's just squawking and doing tippy taps everywhere.
You did it, Flippy.
For a moment, I thought you were saying that Flippy killed the T-Rex, but
That would have been awesome.
is he just landing on him?
Okay, Dragonbait is going to put his other hand on his sword and cleave down into the T-Rex. Oh, when he misses.
But don't people get bonus because?
Oh, he does. Yeah, he gets
Yeah, he gets
advantage.
advantage. Yeah.
Okay. He does hit. And he does not damage.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm glad he gets the advantage.
Holy crap! That's like almost 60 damage.
Okay.
Nah, it's not double.
The radiant would be.
No, it's extra.
Right.
We discussed this last time.
Oh, okay.
We did. Yep.
Still, that's nearly 40.
Yeah, so you see this sizzling kind of blade against the zombie's flesh, the T-Rex zombie's flesh. As Dragonbait swipes through it. This zombie
He's gonna hit me.
is gonna try and slam you.
Excuse me.
Oh yes, he takes 13 damage.
Nice. That was a good.
Goes to slam against
Jeez.
Valia, but then a centaur comes back round and goes straight through it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that zombie's dead.
I don't know what it is, but your D8s seem to be rolling better than those D10s that were coming from the lightning a moment ago.
Tell that to my spears.
Oh.
What's Artist gonna do? He sees the zombie. Okay, he's gonna start moving up. Over here. Okay, Valia.
Okay, this is probably gonna be a little nutty, but I want to, because I don't want this guy to try to bite me again. Can I climb up on his back, behind his neck, where he can't reach? Well, not climb, but kind of fly up there.
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't want him to bite me again. It's probably really gross and mushy up there, but that's okay.
Careful,
And then I'm
he
just
might
gonna-
reach you with his really long arms.
Yes, freakishly long arms on a T-Rex. Hey,
Yeah,
can I
wait.
use luck on that?
Yeah. That hits. Okay.
And then my second.
Yeah.
And don't forget to roll an extra D6.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Okay.
And then the unarmed. Oh, well, minus the damage because I didn't hit him with the unarmed. I got a little ambitious.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep, he takes some. He looks like he's on his last legs at this
I'm just
point.
like claws dug into him, my claws on my feet, and I'm just like ripping into the back of like the side of his neck. There. Stop puking zombies!
Yeah, you can. Now you're holding on to him. It's really freaky actually because you can feel the zombies moving under his feet.
Ugh.
Oh gosh.
Okay, Kellisto.
It's like when you see an animal that has babies and they move inside them. Ugh.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or when you see an animal that's been dead for a really long time. And,
Oh, yeah. Ugh.
Yep.
well, actually, maybe not that long. Because. Anyway. Kellisto.
Nice visual for everybody watching.
Yeah. I was gonna try to heal Valia, but I think I'm gonna see if I can take him out before he pukes out another thingy. I'm gonna initiate my flame blade and then use it. So
Mm.
I'll move up.
Okay.
Advantage on melee.
Oh, so close. He literally looks like he's on the verge of collapse.
Clear out below.
Yeah, he's got like, he's kind of leaning, and he's like, his motions are slowed, and his roars are like half-hearted, and yeah, he's.
But he has enough in him to puke out another zombie, huh?
I mean, wouldn't you if you were a T-Rex about to die?
I puke out a bunch of them.
Also, the zombies. Oh, does he take that at the beginning of his turn or the end of his turn? At the beginning.
That's right.
Okay. So he looks like he's gonna hawk up another zombie. He kind of makes this motion, and then this flare of radiant damage from the centaurs galloping around him just overcomes him, and instead he just kind of face plants into the ground, dead.
Yay!
I just kind of slowly hover to, like, kind of slowly descend to the ground and just sit there. I'm like, ugh, that's so gross.
And you
Ulfgar
can
says
see actually
there's-
under
yeah, there's still some movement.
yeah, The T-Rex seems to be dead, but there's still movement under what's left of his flesh and scales.
Burn it, burn it, burn it all.
Yeah, I'm just like, somebody burn that thing.
Just keep calling lightning down on that place.
I'm gonna walk over to unless are we done with our turn? I was just gonna walk over and heal and do a healing thing on.
So,
When it's my
I'm
turn.
trying to think, like, yeah, well, Ulfgar, you see the zombie kind of topple forwards. I would say probably from your distance, and how surrounded he is. You're not 100% sure that he's dead. He looks pretty dead, but
I move over. And I keep a watchful eye for any more movement down there.
yeah, you can see there's movement under his flesh.
I'll just ready an action if any of them burst out to shoot them. Otherwise, I'll wait for others to see if they're going to do anything. And I make sure not to stay directly over top of it so I don't get struck by lightning if that is one of the choices that is chosen.
Okay, anything else you want to do? Or...
No.
Okay. So Aelia, anything you would like to do to resolve the...
Yeah, I break concentration. Immediately following that, she takes a deep breath and yells in Sylvan, "Be released, all ye long and new," and cast Destroy Undead.
Okay. I think that they don't get...
Suddenly, Artis falls down. Oh!
It's not an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Okay, wait, hang on. What's the saving throw? Is it con? I can never remember.
I can't remember either.
Hang on.
It's whatever turn undead's is.
Mm-hmm. I'm scrolling to the turn on that part. It is. Wisdom. Wait, hang on. Yeah, wisdom. Okay.
They have to beat 15.
Okay, yeah, they're gonna fail miserably. Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna do one for the group. So yes, the movement within ceases.
Aelia gestures to the T-Rex corpse. Now you can burn it.
I immediately get a torch and light it and just throw it on the dinosaur.
Okay, yeah, we can break turn order now that you've resolved the leftover zombies.
I don't waste any time. I just take a torch out, light it, and throw it on the dinosaur. Like, okay, I'm gonna go lay down somewhere and die.
Ulfgar has regrets.
T-Rex will remember that.
Ulfgar looks in his quiver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks at the T-Rex and all of his arrows burning. Oh crap! I should have grabbed that quicker.
I just pat you on the shoulder and said, I can make you some. It's okay.
And the 5 that he has remaining are of goblin make. So they still work the same, but you know.
Okay, so you're just kind of cleaning up. So, sorry, anybody resting? Sorry, I was a little distracted for just a minute.
Aelia definitely wants to rest. She wanders off from the burning corpse holding her head. She is very tired from the number of spells.
We could do a short rest, and Ulfgar prestidigitation anybody that's got a bunch of sick on them, sort of like Valia may.
Yeah, I'm just going under this tree and I'm just gonna lean against the tree and be like, ugh. I'm gonna die for a couple hours. Wake me up later.
Considering you were like in its mouth twice.
I slowly reach toward her arm and cast Cure. Don't want to startle her.
You like slowly reach out, then grasp her arm quickly.
Okay, so then taking a short rest. Are you doing your hut again, Ulfgar, or not this time?
No, I mean, usually short rests are just like a half hour or something, so.
Okay. Okay, so yeah.
And I mean, it's pretty much just turning dawn anyway, so.
Mhm. So as you're resting, the sun rises up over the horizon. And yeah, the smell from this T-Rex zombie, I mean, you thought he smelled bad to begin with. Now he's beginning to smell even worse somehow. And after you kind of take some rest, what are you planning on doing?
Get out of this area. It
Yeah.
stinks.
Traveling. I think it's time for us to take off.
Okay, and let me move you back to the map. If I can. Got so many things open. Yeah, we can get rid of a couple of them at least.
Zoom back in. Let's get that.
It is very Indiana Jones, yeah. So, as you get closer to the mountains, as the day kind of moves on, well, is there anything anybody's doing while they're flying around?
Aelia just looks very tired.
Nope.
She is half-heartedly galloping.
So you approach the mountains and you see that they're these kind of dark granite mountains, very kind of jagged looking and foreboding, and you can see that some of them have some kind of clear volcanic activity going on. And you do see, actually, could everybody make a perception check?
Whoops.
I'm purposefully taking disadvantage on this because of time.
I appreciate that. Okay, so Ulfgar sees, you've seen like birds, and you've even seen some terrafolk flying like way in the distance, you know. They just look like really big bats, right? Just way off in the distance. As you've been flying around, you've kind of seen them. But you see something to the south that looks bigger than a terrafolk. It's kind of like, it's tough to have an idea of like where it is. Maybe around here.
I see a pupper. Sorry, I got distracted by the pupper. I missed the click. Hi, Mabel. So is it flying?
Sorry. There is, yes, a large bird kind of flying. Or not bird, there's a large winged something.
Great. Ulfgar points it out to the rest of the party. And
at this distance, it's difficult to see like what color it is, or if it's winged, or if it's feathered, or scaled, or skin winged. Like you can't really see kind of what. Let's see, like you can't really see like what the wings are and what color it is.
It also
It's
doesn't.
like 60 miles away.
It also doesn't help that Ulfgar is pointing with stubby dwarven fingers and expecting people to see. He's like, it's right there. It's huge.
It is pretty big.
Does it appear that it might be flying in our direction?
Again, it's kind of difficult to see, but if you kind of watch it for a while, then it does seem to be actually flying almost parallel to you, and then to your course, and then it turns and looks like it's flying away from you.
I have no interest in finding out if that's a flying Tyrannosaurus Rex.
And it could be a dragon.
I suggest we fly closer to the canopy.
Yeah, I don't think we should be flying so high up. It could be a dragon, could be a giant mutated terrafolk, we don't know what it is. Bats, who knows?
And I would say you're about there, actually, when you see this.
Okay.
But whatever it is, it seems to be kind of in this general area that we need to be, so we need to be very cautious.
Okay.
Maybe we should fly through the trees.
I just point back at Aelia. I'm like, I think she might hit every branch. She's a bit tired.
Oh.
Aelia does not disagree.
I think we should just fly as close down to the treetops as we can.
And you get probably another hour or so of travel, and then you realize that even if you wanted to fly higher, actually you don't feel like you could. You realize actually that you think your flight is you probably got like an hour or two left, and that's going to be the end of it.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry, Miss GM, where does that put us? At that feel?
I would say it's you might get one more hex, so probably about like there-ish.
So we would land at the base of the mount. Oh, we're about a hex away, and we feel like we'd make it another to the base of the mountain, or we're at the base of the mountain and we feel we could go one more.
So you're at the base of the mountain, and you feel like you could probably go one more hex. So it's kind of you've got a decision to make whether you want to land kind of on the mountain, so to speak, try and land on the mountain, or if you want to kind of stick to like a forested area and try and land in the jungle floor.
I'm thinking we stick to the forested area and land in the jungle floor. My heritage may be on stone, but I'm not as so sure-footed on the outside of it, and that's that height.
Yeah, we should just go ahead and land here and kind of go along the jungle floor so we can kind of get an idea of what's around.
Let's just hover along the floor then, so that we can at least use up the last of it and ensure that she can get her wings back.
So you're going to try and move like a little bit southwards around the edge of the kind of mountain, is that?
Like down this way?
Yeah, like kind of do a little arc around the edge of it?
If possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so I think that is definitely possible. You can stick to, as the flight is diminishing, it's gradually reducing your altitude anyway. So you're able to kind of steer yourselves, obviously, around the rockier parts of the mountain and come into land. It's kind of actually, it's kind of a nice mix. It's not the dense jungle, because the rocky terrain is reduced, how much foliage there is, but it's not the rocky mountain either. So I hit this nice sweet spot, like, we'll say right around there.
Okay. So you look, and actually as you're coming into land, you can see
this area here is very ashen. So it's not like it's not really like a rocky terrain. It is kind of it looks like it's got this layer of ash over it.
Could I do some kind of check to see if dwarves might live in this kind of environment? You know, like I'm guessing the ash is probably from volcanic activity.
Yeah, make like either just a general intelligence check, or if you've got knowledge nature, that's fantastic as well.
There's no knowledge skills anymore, but I do have.
Oh, cool.
I have nature, though.
Yeah. I keep forgetting.
While he's doing that, can I look up to see if we can get a good glimpse of this flying thing in there? It's nice nature there.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Anybody else want to kind of see if they can figure out why it's all ashy?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of see if it's volcanic or wood or.
So everybody except Ulfgar. Ulfgar, I'm surprised you don't have some kind of like. I suppose that's in. Never mind.
I'm trained in it. I have bonuses in it. I rolled crap.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're fairly sure that this ash is from volcanic activity, and it does. This valley does seem to have quite a straight kind of area to it as well. And actually, when you look up at the base of the mountain, you can see what looks like an old road leading up into the mountain, kind of like here-ish.
Can I look up to see if we might get a better glimpse of this flying creature?
Yeah, make another perception check. Yes, you do see it's kind of circling again off in the distance, kind of southeast of you. And it does look like it has 2 wings and 4 legs. And it looks pretty big.
Oh, man. I look at everybody, I'm like, we're heading up. This is a volcanic area, and there's a flying creature with 4 legs and 2 wings. I'm betting it's a dragon. I don't know if I have it in me to fight a dragon right now.
It doesn't look as big as the T-Rex was. How's that? It looks kind of like a bit bigger than Arokh. Arokh is pretty big. So it looks bigger than Arokh, but smaller than that T-Rex that you just fought.
I was just like, it's a dragon. We can't fight a dragon. That's all I keep saying is this dragon.
Either way, our what time of day would it be at this point? I mean, we started at the wreck of the Star Goddess.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, you didn't start there, because you went on a bit further from there, right?
Oh,
And
yeah,
you
right.
fought the T-Rex, and then you went on the rest. So it's actually just early afternoon.
Well, we could start looking around for a spot to camp. Do an early camp and try approaching Hrakhamar through this road, perhaps?
Yeah, I don't think camping out on the Ashen Trail here with a flying dragon is a good idea.
Well, that's why I'm saying we do it on the edge of this foliage that we're in now, before we journey into this valley.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Besides, it'll give us a bit of camouflage, and perhaps the pretty bird might fly on by then.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, Arthur, can you see better over there? What do you think that thing is?
He's doing the thing where he's looking over his shoulders. Arthur who? But then he does kind of put his hands up against the sun and does a perception check for you. And his perception is +3. says, I don't know what you're talking about.
'Tis but a wisp of cloud.
He says, I think I saw it, but I definitely didn't see it in any more detail than you did.
Okay, then I guess we should probably just try to camp here and head up there in the morning.
Yeah, it'll give me a chance to do some hunting, before we don't have any place to.
Aye, that's a good point.
Okay.
And I think the sooner we rest, the better off we'll be, so we can have an earlier start. I think
I couldn't agree more.
the faster we go across this big expanse, the better.
So you ritual casting your hut, or?
Yeah.
I'll go hunting.
Okay. You want to give me a survival? Thank you.
I'll take first watch when we get ready to rest.
I now know what hunting involves. Call lightning on bats. Call lightning on that elk.
So yeah, you're able to collect plenty of food for the party. And when you get back, everybody's kind of taking an afternoon snooze inside Ulfgar's hut. Ulfgar's magical
Hut of disguise.
What does...
Aelia whinnies in her sleep.
We kind of sit outside a little bit with Eric, have a little bottle of something. I didn't really get hurt in the last battle. I'll go to bed at like a normal time.
Okay.
Yeah, Ulfgar didn't get hurt either, so he just used a few abilities.
So I guess I'll take the afternoon watch.
Ulfgar always takes the last, so...
While you're watching Callisto, you do kind of you make out something through the leaves of the jungle. It looks like a face.
Like in the leaves? Like formed by the leaves?
No, you hadn't noticed it before because it's so like you're just catching glimpses of it through the leaves as the wind kind of blows them from side to side. But you see kind of some kind of face.
I'll sneak up and see if I can see a little closer and see if I can see through.
Okay. Want to give me a thank you?
A mind reading check.
So yes, you're able to stealth. You think you do quite well, stealthing very, kind of moving very cautious through the undergrowth towards this face and in between the leaves. And as you get closer, you notice that the face doesn't seem to be moving, and it looks like it's got its eyes closed. And the skin is kind of a strange color. And you're probably about like 7 feet away at this point.
Is there any way, if I do a perception, is there a way to know, like, if I know what it is?
As you stay still for a moment and take a moment to really kind of study it now that you're a bit closer, and you're pretty sure it's stone.
I'm going to go back to camp. Investigating things by myself is probably not a good idea. And I'll just tell everyone about it in the morning.
Okay.
Where's your sense of adventure?
Taking back seat to a sense of survival.
My sense of adventure are all sleeping in the cabin or in the.
Fair enough.
Okay, so yeah, evening falls without much more activity, and the usual kind of jungle noises reach their crescendo as the sun begins to set, and then it all kind of goes to the almost peaceful noises now of the nighttime insects and nighttime wildlife, nocturnal birds and small animals that are rummaging around in the jungle. So is anybody staying awake during the...
Well, like I said, Ulfgar would take the last watch. And he's decided to name the hut spell, he's naming it Ulfgar's anti-trouble bubble. Because it's not really a hut. Let's admit it.
True. So anybody else staying up? Like,
Aelia's plan is to get a long rest. Wink, wink.
I think Arokh is probably staying up.
okay, he might take like second watch and then...
Hmm.
Yeah, I when I get back, I kind of tell him about it, about the face, and because assuming I know that he's going to take the second watch, and then I just go to bed.
Okay.
I think Dragonbait and Artis are probably doing okay. Oh, no, wait. Dragonbait took a hit, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could try and talk Artis into staying awake.
Yeah. I'd have him stick around for second shift.
Okay. So second shift being your shift as well?
No, I'm third.
Okay, alright, so 3 shifts. Alright, so during your shift, Ulfgar, you do kind of sitting by the... Well, do you have like a little fire going inside your hut?
No, it would be dimly lit, but that's about it.
Okay.
The fire would be out by then.
Okay. So Arokh is kind of snoozing outside at this point, and you notice that the floor of the jungle seems to be kind of there's a lot of movement on the floor of the jungle. And can you make a perception check and I'll tell you how much detail you see?
12.
It seems to be like well, it's not difficult to make out. It looks like there's up out of the dirt have kind of not exploded, but erupted these large kind of groups of centipedes. They're a bit larger than you're used to as well as far as centipedes go. You know, not your usual kind of little guys. These guys were like big jungle-sized centipedes.
In the hut, or you just mean in general?
Outside the hut.
Okay.
I would say probably about like 5 feet away from Arokh. Like there's a 5-foot gap between them.
There's some bigger centipedes on the ground, I see.
Lots of them.
Lots of them. So I pick up a pebble and throw it at Arokh to try and, get his attention.
Okay. Make a ranged attack with your pebble.
Okay. I'm just going to use my short bow roll.
Okay.
11.
Yeah, he's a stationary target, and he's a pretty big guy, so I think...
he's
yes,
also unconscious, so I get advantage.
He's passed out. So yes, you hit him, and he kind of stirs a little bit and looks back in the hut.
And Ulfgar kind of like points out, where all the centipedes are that he's seeing.
And Arokh, seeing them so close to him, he kind of looks at you, Ulfgar, gives you a kind of motion like this, and then turns and pounces on them.
Okay. Does he seem really bothered by them?
You see him like just kind of just pounce into them and just trying like he's like shredding them kind of like with his claws.
Okay, I'll let him. I just didn't know if it was going to turn into like some kind of big insect swarm or something, but he seems to have it well in claw.
Well, there are a lot of them.
Okay. Does he seem to be struggling?
Hang on, give him a second. I can tell you. Yes, he does seem to be struggling.
Crap.
You can see them kind of like, while he's pounced on them, they're all climbing up his legs, and he's like, they're making progress faster than he is, basically.
Okay.
Remember somebody's like, remember that time value when you poked that dead body and all these bugs came?
Yeah, I was expecting him to back away from them, not pounce into them. So, Ulfgar grabs Artis and Dragonbait and kind of like wakes them up and says, we've got some problems. Come, I need your help.
So you're grabbing Artis and Dragonbait?
Yeah, I'm trying to let the rest of the group like finish off a bit more of their sleep.
Okay. So they wake up and you motion out to Arokh and they're like, see them what's happening with quite startled reaction and immediately kind of draw weapons and run out of the hut to go and help Arokh. And to save you all from listening to me waffle on through 3 NPCs fighting some swarms of centipedes. Ulfgar, are you going to wake anybody else? Or would there be a point in that battle that you might wake anybody else?
If it looks like they're struggling or they might need some help or something like that, basically, I don't want them to like take lots of damage and get injured and stuff. I'm just seeing it as this is some of the jungle critters, large ones, but they're still insects. It's like we found a snake nest or something close to this, but I don't want to disturb those that need the sleep for their spells and such, since we're going to be exposed for the next day.
And they're not going to get away with this kind of scot-free. They will end up taking some damage from these.
I don't know. I guess.
And so you've got kind of a choice, right? You can see that they're winning, but
yeah, I'd wake up. I'd wake up Valia and Tobias, and I'd probably leave. I'd probably leave Kellisto and Aelia, because Kellisto had first watch, and Aelia was really tired as well. So I'd probably leave those two behind and wake up everybody else then. Sorry, I'm not making it very easy for you.
Yeah, I think so. At what point are you waking up everybody else? Like when you see that?
As soon as shortly after Artis and Dragonbait, I guess. I mean, if they start going in and it starts like, oh my gosh, this doesn't look so good. Okay, you guys need to get up too. Hey.
I guess what I'm saying is they're going to be able to handle the insects fine, but they're going to take a little damage in the process.
Yep.
Okay. So when they start taking damage, you wake everybody else up? Except the magic users?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So Valia, you are woken by Ulfgar.
There's...
I'm like, what do you want?
We've got a little bit of an insect problem out there, and Arokh needs some help. Would you mind?
Okay. Alright, I'll get up, mosey outside and look, see look at the situation. Now tell Flippy to stay in the bubble.
I should have sent Flippy out this whole time. What was I thinking?
So it's almost comical, Valia, when you look out of the hut. You see the three of them are like swatting ferociously at these fairly large centipedes that are climbing up their legs and biting them, and it's actually kind of like, you know, there's an element of comedy about the whole scene.
I'm just like laughing. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Quit playing with the bugs and just kill them,
Artis replies, they bite pretty hard.
Okay, I'll walk over and the first one I see, I'm just gonna grab it with my claws and try to rip.
So at this point, they're all, yeah, I mean, they're all in basically the same space. Like, it's like each Arokh, Artis, and Dragonbait all have like a swarm centered on them, so they're kind of like occupying the same space. But after a fashion, you are able to kind of help them overcome the swarms of insects. Just, you know, between the four of you, there's some bites are kind of received by the three initial participants, but you're able to overcome the insect.
I just look at them and shake my head, and I'm like, I'm going back in the bubble and just walk away.
Artis is like, that really hurts. He looks kind of like dejected by the fact that you're
We
like
get defeated by bugs.
Dragonbait just kind of shrugs and looks over and
It's funny how if this was like yesterday, you wouldn't have thought anything about it, because then we just fly away from this as soon as we cleared camp, but can't do that anymore.
Okay. So the rest of your rest kind of continues without any further incident, and you wake. The rest of the party wakes in the morning, feeling fully refreshed. There is rain this morning.
Ah.
And the road ahead awaits you.
Hooray. Quick short breakfast and we're out. On the road again. As it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I say, well, we need to keep an eye out on that flying creature and make sure we try to stay as, I guess, it's going to be hard to stay out of sight, but just keep an eye out for it.
We could have Arokh maybe like have a quick peek just at the top of the canopy. See if he sees it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Arokh will leap into the air, take a few great whooshes of his wings to project him out just up to the canopy of the trees, and returns and says that he's seeing it occasionally in the distance.
Okay. Well then. We were hoping it would fly off, but I guess it didn't. So we'll have to keep an eye out for it. If it starts coming our way, I could summon up another anti-trouble bubble. As an effort in case it's a bit more than we can handle.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe hide ourselves in the process, because I don't think there's any cover out there. But we are going to be leaving footprints most likely on this path with all the ash around.
Mm-hmm.
So let's tread cautiously, but quickly.
Okay.
I just start heading up. I'm like, come on, let's go.
Alright, it is quite kind of disconcerting to be on foot again. You're suddenly very aware of all the activity in the jungle around you previously. It seemed so so small and insignificant below you. Not anymore. It's now kind of back in your face again. But it doesn't take long actually for your travel for the day, before you exit the jungle terrain completely and enter this kind of more rocky terrain. It might have had vegetation on it at one point, but it's definitely covered in ash now. And as you kind of make your way across can you describe like how you're sticking, like how you're plotting your journey? Are you sticking to the feet of the mountain? Are you going towards this kind of like more smooth terrain? What's your plan?
Well, there's a road, right? So maybe we should follow the road.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking.
Okay.
Seems to be going in the general direction we're going, then take it.
So you do, so two things that you notice while you're journeying. First, you do occasionally see your flying friend off in the distance, kind of off in this area. And it seems to kind of swoop around, and then sometimes it heads kind of over here, and then sometimes it goes. So it seems to be making these kind of loops backwards and forwards in this area. It doesn't seem particularly interested in heading into this kind of, this area where you've got the circle of mountains here, or semicircle. So it doesn't appear to head that direction, but does seem to kind of swoop backwards and forwards between those two things. And then the second thing that you notice is you can see, because you further down, so that's what's happening in the air, but further down on the ground of the valley, this Valley of Lost Honor here, you see some movement by some other creatures as well. They look like they're kind of, oh, hang on, my thing minimized. They look like they're like kind of these big lizardy things, like part bird, part lizard. Like Valia, you think they look like Flippy would look if he didn't have any feathers. Except they don't have the big shaped beak. But it's kind of tough to see any more detail at this distance.
Yeah, I'll just point them out and be like, we should probably be careful.
Are they upright?
They are upright, yeah.
Do they seem to have arms?
That it's difficult to kind of make out any more detail without approaching.
Okay, well, we're more or less looking for dwarves or familiar races that we know are peaceful, so probably stay away from them for now. I mean, we saw those turtle folk, or whatever they were before. I don't remember if they weren't turtle folk, but we saw those other people before. They did not want to talk to us. And we were considered trespassing, so this may be another repeat.
Okay. Anything anybody wants to do while you're traveling today?
Not particularly.
I'd just like to make sure that the flappy bird down south doesn't come our way, and keep an eye out for anybody that might approach us.
Okay.
Otherwise, quickly move on the road.
Mm-hmm. So as you kind of move, we're going to move you one more hex today. As you move around the mountain, you see you can see the remnants of this road. As it goes up into the mountains, you can see it is much more road-like, and the further into the valley it goes, the less you can kind of see it. So it becomes like covered with ash and just more difficult to distinguish between the rest of the terrain. so it's definitely more defined up in the mountains. And you can also see what look like ancient kind of little footpaths that lead up into the mountains. And the mountains themselves are fairly jagged. So they've got these rock formations that kind of obscure some of these little footpaths. So you see kind of some of them heading and then they disappear behind the formation. So this is, as you get kind of closer to Hrakhamar, you can see elements of, and especially you, Ulfgar, would recognize these as elements of kind of a dwarven settlement or dwarven activity. But they look quite ancient, and the road especially looks like it has not been maintained in quite a while.
Would I be able to make any kind of stone cutting check to try and determine what might be the right path to take to a main entrance to a city in the mountains?
Actually, you don't really need to make it for that. You're all fairly certain that that road is probably like the way to go.
Okay.
The road is definitely like the main, entrance, and the other footpaths might lead to like secondary buildings or something.
Okay.
So as the day kind of marches on, and actually the rain lets up, and it becomes this very sunny afternoon, and it's almost unbearable in this environment. And you thought it was bad in the jungle when it was so humid in the sun. But actually in this environment with the ash around you, it feels like there's nothing else to absorb the heat, and the sun just kind of beats down on you. And it's in late afternoon that you notice some activity, some movement up on one of these footpaths up on kind of the mountainside. And it doesn't take a lot. Well, you can immediately kind of recognize that it's four fairly short people. And Ulfgar, you think that these might be the dwarves that you were looking for.
I raise a hand and say, "Oi, hello there." Just trying to get their attention a bit. Also getting the attention of the rest of the party, I'm sure.
Yes.
So they look they stop and look at you, and then continue on their path. And the path is definitely leading towards you.
Okay.
They don't really respond, and don't give you any particular greeting. And as they get closer, you can see that actually these are similar to some of the dwarves that you saw around Port Nianzaru, in that they're albino dwarves.
Oh.
So here, let me share.
I'm like, they're crazy. We shouldn't have came here.
No, they've got both their hands. We're okay.
So this is kind of a rough view of what you see. But instead of being clad in like jungle foliage, these folks look like they're clad in, kind of a crude leather garments. So it's nothing particularly sophisticated, but they are wearing some kind of hide armor, is what you would classify it as.
Okay. So do they look like they're not particularly advanced, perhaps, with how they're dressed? Meaning,
correct.
like, I'm wearing half plate.
Actually, could you just... So you're wearing half plate, and what else? What are you wearing, Ulfgar? But no, could you seriously kind of describe your appearance too, as if, these are fellow dwarves approaching you, very different looking than you. How do you look to them?
Well, I'd have my helm off, so you could probably see the picture of my character. I don't know if you can see that on there, but if you click on my character sheet, it's on there. I think it's on my bio sheet.
Yeah, I see.
Okay. There we go, bio and info. So I'd pretty much be looking like that, except I'd have a rapier at my side instead of the hand axe.
Okay.
Short bow across my back, as well as like a camp backpack of sorts, strapped in place. But otherwise, I'd look pretty much like that.
Okay.
Oh, and a horn hanging across my chest, and some small pouches on the side of my belt.
Do you have any other instruments visible?
Not visible. I have a bone flute in my pack.
Okay. Right. Okay. So these dwarves get a lot closer to you, and actually, as they do get closer, you can see that they are a mixture of genders. The dwarf at the front appears to be female, while the other three dwarves appear to be male.
Mm-hmm.
So the dwarves approach. Are you kind of standing and waiting for them to come to you, or what are you doing as they're walking towards you?
I guess we're walking towards them too. And Ulfgar is making sure to keep a peaceful, stance and so on.
What are you guys doing, Aelia, Valia, and Kellisto?
I'm making sure to kind of just trot carefully behind Ulfgar, as to kind of indicate that he's the one leading our group.
Ulfgar, do you think maybe we should stay behind a little bit?
Maybe just let me stand out front and do the talking.
Okay. I just kind of hang back a bit.
How about you, Valia?
I'm just gonna stand next to Ulfgar and just like wave. Not say anything. I'm just gonna wave at them with Flippy right next.
Okay. So they get closer and closer, and you eventually kind of meet. They've, come down off this mountain path that they were on, and you meet them kind of at the base of that path, and they actually, let's make sure. See, hang on, I just realized I need to see. They do. Okay, they do speak common, and
well, I'd be greeting out in Dwarven if that made a difference.
Okay. Well, they call out in common because they see that there's a mixture of folks, so they call out in common.
Mm-hmm.
Hello there, and it's a woman at the front that calls out.
And Ulfgar replies saying, "Hello and good day to you." And then he'd also do a greeting in Dwarven as well.
Okay. They return your greeting in Dwarven.
Okay. He says, my party and I are seeking friendly accommodation. I think if it sounded like the person that was talking was having any trouble with common, that he would probably use Dwarven instead, or switch to Dwarven at certain words. But otherwise he'd try to keep it in common if he could. And he'd say, we're friendly in the area, wondering what's going on near here. Like to talk to, any friendly faces. It's good to see another dwarf.
Mm-hmm. So the woman who is leading the party down stands kind of in front of you and is the one having the conversation. Why you're doing this? Why are you speaking to her? And her other party members kind of start looking at the rest of the group, and one of them approaches you, Aelia, and is kind of looking very quizzical, confusion kind of look on their face, and then it's like they come to a conclusion and step forward, and then proceed. He puts his hand on the bottom of your leg close to your hoof. Then he kind of stands. I don't know if you guys have seen people do this, like how you pick up a horse's hoof to check the like shoe or something like that, you stand like to the side of it and put your hand down the horse's leg and then pick the hoof up. This is exactly what he does. So he stands to the side of your leg, puts his hand on your leg, and kind of then starts moving his hand down towards your hoof as if he's going to pick your hoof up.
Ulfgar would call out if he saw it, but I don't know if he did.
Aelia just like gives him this intense look, like watching him super carefully and judgmentally, but lets him do it.
Okay. Yeah, he's kind of oblivious to this because at this point he's got his back like to kind of your head, so to your face. So he's got his back to your face. So he's kind of picking up, and Ulfgar, while you're talking and watching him, you see, he just seems to be like inspecting hooves. So he puts that hoof down, seems to be fairly happy with it, and then walks over to the next hoof and seems to be doing like a hoof inspection.
So I see this guy doing this.
Yeah.
I'd call out and basically, in so many words, say, please leave her alone. Don't. You're risking getting a swift kick in the face if you keep that up.
So while he's doing that, though, the other two are kind of like, they're just kind of walking around the party inspecting, and they get to Artus, and they're not sure what to make of him. They're like lifting his jacket and talking to each other in Dwarven, and Ulfgar, you understand that they're kind of like, look at this fancy pants, they're kind of like making fun of him a little bit, and everybody else hears dwarf, 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 and they chuckle to each other. And
Ulfgar pretty much talks to the party at this point, saying, it would appear that most of them haven't seen the likes of most of us, or most of you, as it is. So, please excuse their curiosity and try to be forgiving.
Used to it of late.
Ulfgar has this
snaps.
big, like worrisome confusion look on his face when he looks up at Valia.
And
I just look at you, I'm like, well, they seem fine with me.
So, when Aelia, when you speak, the dwarf that was looking at your hooves, like, jumps back, and then just kind of like backs away a little bit and just stands there, kind of like looking you over. Yeah, the other dwarfs are they're basically giving you a good once over, and while those folks are doing that, actually the woman that was at the front of the party introduces herself to you, Ulfgar. She puts out a gruff, kind of a hand that looks like it's seen, many decades of work.
Mm-hmm.
She puts that out to you to shake, and she says, I am City Vine Cutter.
City Vine Cutter? City.
Put her name in chat.
Thanks.
So this is, she introduces herself, and if you shaking her hand back?
Oh, most definitely, in the most dwarven way I could think of. And
Yeah.
I would also respond saying, I am Ulfgar Holderheck.
And she does very dwarven, kind of claps,
Yep.
clap hands like this and shake, and
Totally.
she says it's good to see another dwarf brother, and she says, why are you here? She seems friendly. She just
Right. He says, well, my party, and he gestures to everyone here, are weary from travel, but we are looking for Omu, so that we can destroy Raznasi and seek out the Soulmonger. There is a curse on the land, and we seek to end it.
she says, not much use to us.
We're stopping the undead.
She kind of grunts again.
And
She
Ulfgar...
says,
Oh, go ahead.
oh, she just kind of shrugs as well and says, no undead here.
Really? What's that? And he points over towards our Flappy Bird down the Valley of Lost Honor. It's been following or staying off in the distance for a couple days now.
She says, says, "That's Tinder."
And he gives her the same response of, huh, that she gave him a moment ago. Like, what's Tinder?
She says the word dragon in Dwarven.
Oh, oh. Ulfgar looks up to Valia and says, "You're right." Points at that.
I said, why did you doubt me?
I didn't. I was just confirming. Ulfgar says, "Would we be able to stay at Hrakhamar? We heard there was a dwarven encampment up ahead."
She says, "This is an excellent idea."
Aye. Ulfgar's eyes kind of light up a bit.
She says, "Only one problem.
What?
First, we must get rid of the fire newts."
Of the what?
Fire newts.
Right.
Fire newts?
I
Is that
t-
those scaly things?
Are you not staying at Hrakhamar?
There's no. The fire newts have taken over.
Oh. Oh dear.
We should kill them.
How many are in her party?
There's 4 of them, so her and 3 others.
Ulfgar says, "Are there more of you?
No.
Is this all that's left?"
Yes.
Oh.
She's very matter of fact, like.
Well, yeah.
People
I'm
that
like,
have-
did the fire newts happen to burn you guys all alive except for this party?
I thought it was a vast city.
She says no. She says, my ancestors were driven out.
Dwiven.
were driven out by the. They were driven out by the volcano, and she kind of points back to the smoking peak that you'd seen previously. She says, "We came back to, reactivate the forge, and the fire newts have moved it." So she clasps you on the shoulder, Ulfgar, and she says, "But now you're here."
Suddenly Ulfgar looks a little bit nervous. How well equipped do these folk look?
They do have kind of hide armor on, and they all have hand axes.
Does it look like they have any ranged weaponry?
No.
Of course not. Ulfgar says, "Where did you come from? If not Hrakhamar."
Well, she says, "Well, my ancestors were, lived in Hrakhamar." She says, "We just vacated temporarily. Hrakhamar is my home."
So did the volcano erupt and drive you out?
She says, "Yes, there was a massive lava flow," and she kind of motions to the big valley of ash that you see.
So like the Valley of Lost Honor is most likely an entire lava flow solidified at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. It's a giant paved road. Alright,
She says, "So, brother, shall we?"
how many
And she's
number...
kind of motioning towards.
He says, "First, we talk. How many number their camp?"
She says, maybe 10.
Maybe 10.
So it's difficult to say without going inside.
And I describe what we saw earlier with, like, bird-like lizard things, and say, is that what these are?
She says, "Oh, those are the striders that the fire newts ride."
They're mounted? Suddenly
Those ones are.
Ulfgar looks a little bit worried.
She says, "Not inside the forge." She looks at you like you're kind of like stupid for thinking they would have their, their mounts inside the forge.
Ulfgar says, "I'm more worried about your longevity. If we walk in take the forge back, what's to prevent more of them from coming in? If there's more an encampment nearby, do they have a city or a town?
She says, well, the forge, of course. She says, the entrance to Hrakhamar used to be magnificent. 2 magnificent iron doors guarded the gateway to the forge. She says, inside the forge are the means to remake those doors. If we can take the forge back, we can remake the doors, and it will be ours again.
Right. Okay. Where were you headed before we met?
She looks really confused by this question. Says, to see you. She says, we saw you coming miles away.
Ah. Right.
She kind of motions to like your whole party. She says, you're not particularly stealthy.
We weren't trying to be. So Ulfgar says, all right, well, I have to discuss amongst my party.
She says, we could sweeten the deal if you need.
And he just cocks an eyebrow.
She says, inside the forge, there's a massive amount of refined adamantine, and you can see she's got this like look in her eyes, like tastes like it's so good. Like this adamantine is like, if her eyes could turn into little hearts, they would.
Yeah,
like,
actually, Ulfgar kind of like starts like leaning forward a bit upon hearing this and goes, "Really? Now that is interesting."
Says, if you help us retake the forge, we will share this with you, brother.
Ulfgar eagerly puts his hand on her shoulder and says, "Well then, I still need to talk to my party. But give me a moment. Not all of them may understand what we've been saying."
Yeah, and by this point, the other 3 dwarves who've been kind of circling around, checking everybody out, kind of circle back to stand with Sithy, and they kind of pull up like a stone and stuff and sit down.
Okay.
And kind of wait for you.
So basically, Ulfgar tries to get the party pulled aside and, with a low voice, tries discussing things with the rest of the group to see what kind of interest they may have in this.
And they're just kind of muttering to each other in Dwarven while you're doing that.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I guess Ulfgar would want to... He has no reason to suspect, but I guess he'd want to just make sure that what they're saying seems accurate, and that they're not just like getting confused with some of the common speak. So could he make an insight check as to what they're saying being true of reclaiming the forge, and that they're not just naming somebody else's forge their own, maybe? I mean, he knows it's a dwarven encampment and stuff.
Go ahead with an insight check if you think that they're being forthcoming.
Okay. Go back to the character sheet then. Insight. There we go.
You feel like she is a straightforward lady.
Okay.
And she's not really into playing, manipulative games.
Okay. So Ulfgar would speak with the rest of the group in low tones, so as to try and, keep some privacy amongst the group, and say, I believe what she says is absolutely true. I don't think there's any lie to it at all. I'd like to help them. I'd like it even more if you all help me.
Well, I can't complain, considering I forced you into a battle with a rotting dinosaur, so I feel I owe you.
There was no forcing. Merely my usual grumble. He looks up at Valia.
Still, I don't understand what this adamantium is, or the use of fortresses when you can just stay on the move, but...
Ulfgar points at his half-plate armor and says, "You see this metal here? Adamantine. it's extra light and almost invulnerable.
Aelia just kind of almost mimicking the conversation you had with Sithy.
All right, he'd say, at the very least, it'd be valuable for us. And I consider them some distant kin. They seem like nice enough folk. The fact that they lost their forge to these other ones, we could try talking them out of the place first. No need to try and shed blood first, but if they don't decide to, I'd like to be backed up for it.
That I understand. Family is important.
Well, what do the rest of you think?
I have no objections. I mean, we came all this way. We might as well be able to go inside.
Well, we don't have as much pressing against us with the loss of anybody's wings anymore. I would like...
Yep, we might as well go kill some fire newts. Maybe we can use their mounts.
Oh, hey, that's great.
It's not a bad idea. Actually, perhaps we could come up with a plan. I would like to try and negotiate with them first, as I often try to do. But I don't expect things are going to go well, and in fact I think things would go bad quickly. So, as their mounts are likely not as intelligent as you and I, not to say that I'm intelligent, but I would think perhaps some of you might have persuasive powers over their allegiance.
Do you even know what these fire newts are? Did they even speak?
I just lost my earbuds. Hold on. I'm getting swarmed by pugs. Okay, I think I'm back again. Sorry, I had a dog step on my earbuds. I missed what was said.
I asked if you even knew what fire newts were, and if they even speak common.
Not really sure if they speak common, but could always give it a go. It's dependent upon the fire newt, really. But run into them in the past. Often they're in an area of fire and flame, so that is to be expected. But that's about as much as I'm aware of. Oh, we've got a pug. So...
Oh. Let's go get it then.
Excuse me. Do any of you think you might be able to influence their mounts, if they are mounted or have any? So that we could use them, perhaps.
Well, I have worked with other four-legged beasts before, but I don't quite understand what you're
You
asking.
just hear me giggle in the background when you said that.
Ulfgar says, well, I've seen you all talk to animals, more or less.
Yeah, I think Valia and I both have speak with animals, so I guess we could try.
Right. Well, these creatures may have the abilities of fire. I don't know if they have magics. Maybe we could talk with the dwarves here, but is anyone not interested in joining in? And Ulfgar actually looks at Tobias and Arokh and Artis and Dragonbait, because they haven't really spoken up on it.
Tobias and Dragonbait reply that they don't mind taking a bit extra time if this is important to you. But Artist is really like, this really kind of, we need to, this needs to be like fast. Like he's like in and out. We murder the finers, we get out, we go. So, and Tobias is obviously, up for the adventure.
Right. So then, let's bring in the our friends here. Sithie, Ulfgar calls over to her, and then kind of talks in normal tones at this point and says, "We accept, but we'd like to know a little bit more information, if you don't mind, before we go charging in."
She says, "What do you need to know?"
Do they have magic or fire that they can use on us?
She says, "Well," says sometimes they can spit fire at it.
Right.
But they don't really have magic. Says they are warriors. I respect them for that.
What kind
Do
of
they look kind of like her? Aelia speaks up and points to that.
They say, no. Maybe the same shape.
They're usually red, I believe, right?
She says, maybe the same shape, but different in here, and she's pointing at like Valia's hands. And she said different in here, and pointing at the feet, and she says, more like a newt, like a really big newt.
And they're very different because
I don't know what that is.
they're the ones that steal the forge, Aelia.
I say, we're
No,
talking
I
in
understand
circles now.
that bit, but I don't know what a newt is.
Say they're slimy things. Slimy little lizards. They're annoying. They're worth it.
Ulfgar uses prestidigitation to make a very small handheld tchotchke thing of a newt so that she could see. He says, but much bigger. That's usually a newt.
Yeah, Sithie looks at that and goes, yes, but standing on 2 feet instead of 4 feet, and she says, yes, much bigger. She says, and evil.
Aye. Do they, have you tried talking them out of there?
She says, sir. Says, no, there is no talking them out of there. They must die. Says, plus, I don't understand the words they speak.
I might. Would you mind if I tried talking to them first in an effort to try and...
She says, but then you'll give away our attack. If you tell them that we're coming, they'll know that we're going to attack.
I didn't say that
I
there'd
look
be
at
anybody...
Ulfgar, I'm like, she has a point.
Ulfgar kind of like gets this smile on his face. I didn't say that anybody else would be around.
She says, then they'll just kill you.
Well, and Ulfgar realizes that his ideas of tactics and stuff she has no imagination for. So he's like, alright, I'll speak plainly. We might be able to deceive them into not realizing the others are here.
She says, I don't think you understand. She says, they are evil. They will just cut you down. Especially because you're a dwarf.
Oh.
You can't stand being cut down any more than you already are there. Short
Ulfgar,
guy, I just pat your head.
he gives you a swift kick in the shin. Right. Well, ancient dwarven enemy or not, I still think they get to have a say.
Just talk to them if you like. Says, but you'll pay with your life for that conversation. She says, will your friends still help me if you're dead?
I said, I'll eat him.
He says, she would. It's her way. I would like to think the rest of them might, and it wouldn't be me. It would be, and he uses his hands to prestidigitation, a small trinket of himself. Says, it would be a much bigger version like this.
Wait, what are you doing?
Basically making like a small trinket in his hand that looks like himself. He's trying to make it. It's basically tell her that he would use an illusion of himself. He's showing that he can do magic, and he's like,
I see.
I could send an illusion forward to talk to them.
She says, this sounds like it won't work. She kind of hesitates for a moment, trying to decide. She says, like it won't work. Says,
Well,
we should just use whatever stealth we can and then attack.
I just look around. I'm like, we could stand here and argue about this all day and till nighttime, and then we're in danger. So we need to figure out what we're gonna do.
Well, Ulfgar is really torn at this point because he always likes to try and give most things some opportunity to explain what's going on, unless it's a giant. But in, you know,
And she sees your kind of hesitation, your kind of moment of like decision, and she walks up, like, so she's right in your face, and she puts her finger and she's tapping you on the shoulder. She says, you think you can come here and in 5 minutes decide that you know more about these fire newts than me? She says, no. She says, you are wrong.
Like, Ulfgar, you're now making the natives mad.
I feel I may have chosen poorly. Fine. We'll do it your way. Stealth, surprise attack.
I mean, come on, we almost killed goblin children for less. I mean, these probably aren't no big deal.
He shoots you a look. And that could have been avoided.
I think it would have been fun to see them fly, but that's neither here nor there. We can pass by them when we go back to.
Anyway.
She says, well, do you need any time to prepare or should we go now?
Yes, we probably need a little bit to prepare. Do you have a place we can camp safely up here?
She says, there is a small cave back up this path here.
I think we should all go there, make sure everybody's healed up and rested, and then we should head out first.
Maybe they could tell us a little bit more of the layout of the forge so we're not surprised or blindsided.
Yes.
So at that point, City turns on her heel and marches forward with her small band of dwarves up towards the mountain path again, and that is actually where we will call it for today's session, and pick it up with the strategy session or whatever with City and her band next time.
All right.
Most excellent.
Well, thank you, Kashcah, once again for being a fabulous DM and enjoying this adventure. So, thanks everybody for tuning in. Sorry once again that my camera is down at the moment, but it is currently struggling to be fought over control with multiple software programs. Anyway, I hope you guys join us next time. It's close to Christmas, so I don't know what is going to happen on the 23rd just yet. We have to get with the rest of the group here and those that are not here today to determine if we're going to be having another episode. That if not, then it'll be soon. Just stick to the channel and you'll hear more. So anyway, thanks again everybody for stopping by, viewers and players alike. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.